In this video, I'm going to talk about the pre-design process that we go through at Bloom Inc. So you can get an idea of how this works for us, and you can relate that to an architect or an architectural designer that works in your area as well. This is the start of a 5-part video series that dives deep into each phase of our design process. So the pre-design stage actually starts when a potential client reaches out to us. So that is before they have become our client. We would consider that to be pre-design still, because we're collecting valuable information about what their project's going to be, their needs for their project, not only their personal needs, but also permitting, zoning, and their budget as well. So this is all information that we use throughout the rest of the project that is brought up before they even sign with us. So what we'll do is when you reach out to us, we have potential clients fill out a project intake form. And this details their personal information, their name, address, where their project location is, what they want to do, what their project budget is, what their timeline is, and what they are trying to do. And we also include a button that allows them to upload previous plans or a survey if they have one. If you're planning a renovation, you've got to start with the right numbers. We've created a free renovation budget guide that can be downloaded at the link below. This guide will walk you through what you need to include in your budget, and we've also included a built-in calculator. It's so simple to use. Just type in your total budget and it will divide it appropriately between the 6 main categories that every single renovation budget needs to include. So once we receive the project intake form, we will send out a scheduler to book an appointment that is virtual, and this will be done on Zoom. So prior to meeting with you, we will read the intake form and we will figure out what the zoning is. That way when we go to meet with the potential client, we are well prepared and we have a lot of information to talk about and give them a better sense of what they need to do in order to get what they want for their project scope. We'll do a full zoning analysis if they provide us with a survey. If they don't, we pull this information from Google Earth or Google Maps, and we use Google Street View to get our bearings around what the property is, and we'll review the zoning bylaw for the City of Toronto. They have a map online, so we review that and review what the bylaws are for that particular property and put this into a little document that we show up to the virtual hearing with. When it's time for the meeting, we'll pop onto Zoom and we will share our screen, and I'll have the potential client walk us through what they're trying to do and elaborate a little bit more on what their pain points are. And then we'll take over and we'll walk through the zoning analysis and if they need planning approval to get what they want. Sometimes we don't know fully if they will need it, as we haven't done a full design yet and it's speculatory kind of at this point. We do try to let them know that they could potentially need it, and there may be a decision they need to make down the road whether they want to go to committee of adjustments or they want to avoid it completely. So very important things to figure out right from the start. So that's why we cover this as soon as we meet with you. This is before you're even our client. And then once we talk about the zoning analysis, we will talk to you about our process. And that goes into depth about our different levels of service. Now, every architect or architectural designer does this a little bit differently. How we do it is we have 3 levels of service. The first one is very basic. We only use 2D, so that would be just 2D flat drawings, and we include permitting in this service as well. It also includes 3 design options, which will be presented in 2D format, and the role of our acting agent throughout the design phase with the city, and then with coordinating with mechanical and structural engineers as well. Level 2 is the same exact thing, except we include 3D in this package. So that means that the design presentations for the 3 options will be in 3D, and so will the final presentation as well. That includes a 3D walkthrough plus final design renderings as well. And this package is usually the most popular, as a lot of people do struggle with picturing what a 2D plan will look like in real life. So 3D is fantastic. I mean, we're in 2022 now, so it's almost the norm now that you have 3D. But if you are on a tighter budget, we have level 1 as a option. And then level 3 for us is The same thing in level 2, so you have the 3D, you have all the permit drawings, all the construction drawings, all of your basics, plus we do material selection. We only do material selection for the rooms that are in the scope of work. We do not do the whole house, and we do not do furnishings. We're not an interior design firm, so we do not do furnishings, wall coverings, and home decor. We stick generally to the building materials. That could be the exterior look, so siding or brick colors, roof colors, trim colors, and then on the inside we do kitchens and bathrooms, and overall flooring and wall colors as well. So in this one, we prepare a design guide that outlines all of the material selection. It is super helpful to have this design guide when talking with the contractor because they know exactly what they need to order and they can quote based on this design guide. It makes it very, very easy for them. There's no guesswork. There's no guesswork for you as the homeowner either because this has all been thought out prior to getting the permit and prior to starting construction. So it can be a huge asset for you if you decide to go with this package. So that is all part of the consultation process. That's before we even have you as a client. So those are the conversations we have. And after this meeting, we will send you a proposal that includes the pricing for each of these levels of service. And we'll also send you a rough idea of what you can expect to pay for HVAC or structural if that's needed on your project, as well as surveyors if you do not have a survey, which is pretty much 100% guaranteed that you need one. It depends on the project. Anything that involves exterior work, you likely will need a survey. If all is good and happy with the world, we will be so fortunate for you to sign with us, and then that's when the next little bit of the pre-design starts. So once you sign with us, we will schedule a time for us to come out to your house to physically meet you and to go through your house together and figure out what you're really envisioning. We'll do measurements as well. Sometimes we will hire a measuring company separately to come at a later time, but usually during this meeting with you, we want to focus on what your design intent is, as well as take notes of critical areas that we need to pay attention to for the design. This usually is about a 2-hour meeting. Once you are our client, we will also send you homework to do. We call this the lifestyle questionnaire, and it dives deeper into your lifestyle, of course. So we want to get to know you, and we want you to think about those questions, which is why we give it to you in a questionnaire. It's not just an interview, because it does take some thought, and you need to talk about these questions with everyone in your household. During this pre-design phase, we are also creating the existing drawings, or what we also call as-builts. If you don't already have these as-builts, then we need to create them. If you have previously done a renovation or it's a relatively new home, you may already have as-builts that we can go off of for the proposed design. But majority of the time there is no as-builts. So if we have hired a measuring company, they will provide us with these as-builts and we'll import those drawings into our software. Or if we don't hire a measuring company and we do the measurements ourselves, we will create the file from our site measurements, and that'll be used as the basis of the design. Once you are a client, the pre-design part takes about 3 weeks, and that would include preparing the existing drawings. If you already have the existing drawing, then this phase will be much shorter, maybe about 2 weeks, as we still need to import your drawings into our program and create the 3D model, especially if you are choosing that package. Once you've completed the lifestyle questionnaire, we'll go through all of your answers and create a list of additional questions that we want to ask you for the design consultation. The design consultation will be the start of the next phase called schematic design. And that's a wrap for our pre-design process. If you want to learn more about our process and how we go through each phase of design, please click the subscribe button below so you can be notified of when we upload our next video. Good luck on your renovation, and bye for now.